Some English learners say they memorize vocabulary every day, but when it's time to use it, their minds go blank. It's not about knowing the words, it's about connecting them to emotions and moments. That's why stories can help you truly feel the language and remember it naturally. One of the most powerful ways to improve your English is by following the rhythm of real-life stories. If you find this helpful, like the video, subscribe to Reeling, and leave a comment with a word or sentence you learned today. It was a cloudy morning in Brussels. The sky was soft and gray, and the streets were still quiet. Shops were just starting to open, and people moved slowly, carrying their bags and sipping coffee from small paper cups. The air smelled of fresh bread, damp pavement, and something warm, like cinnamon or cardamom. Elias walked with no rush. He wasn't meeting anyone. He didn't have a plan. He was just walking, letting the city guide him. As he turned a corner near the old part of town, he saw a market square. Colorful tents were set up side by side. People walked between them, some with baskets, others just looking. There were stalls for everything: cheese, bread, olives, dried fruit, fabric, candles. But one stall caught his eye. It was a spice stall. And it looked like a painting. There were small glass jars, open wooden boxes, and wide metal trays, each filled with a different color. Bright red paprika, golden turmeric, deep green herbs, soft white garlic powder, dark brown cinnamon sticks, pink peppercorns, tiny blue lavender buds, orange chili flakes. It was like someone had taken the sunset and poured it into little containers. Elias stopped and stood still. He didn't reach out. He didn't ask any questions. He just looked. There was something powerful about those colors. They didn't just sit there. They told stories. Each one came from a different part of the world. Each one had passed through fields, hands, and traditions. And now, they were sitting here, in the heart of Brussels, under a tent, waiting for someone to notice. The seller, an older man with a kind smile and a green apron, nodded at Elias. "Looking for anything special?" Elias shook his head gently. "Just looking," he said. The man nodded again and turned to help another customer. Elias let his eyes wander over the shapes and shades. The red of the chili reminded him of his grandmother's kitchen. The yellow of the turmeric made him think of a dish he once had in Marrakesh. The smell of cumin took him back to a train ride in India, where someone opened a lunchbox filled with warm, spiced rice. The soft green of dried mint brought a memory of a tea shop in Athens. He didn't move. He just watched. For minutes. He noticed how the wind moved the surface of some of the spices like waves. He noticed how the jars caught the light. He noticed how different people passed by, some in a hurry, some holding hands, some pushing strollers, few of them stopping. But Elias stayed. He realized something. He wasn't there to buy. He was there to remember. Or maybe to feel. And strangely, that moment, standing still in front of colors, felt fuller than many days he had spent rushing through tasks. A child walked by with her mother and pointed at the stall. "Mom, look! Rainbow dust." The mother laughed. Elias smiled too. He took a deep breath. The mix of smells was rich but not heavy. It was alive. The seller looked at him again. "Want to try something?" he asked, holding out a pinch of something red and yellow. Elias took it carefully and smelled it. It was sweet, smoky, and warm. "That's beautiful," he said. The man nodded. It's a mix I make myself. From 4 countries. Elias smiled. I believe it. He thanked him, nodded again, and walked on. He didn't buy anything. But he felt like he had received something. He left the market and walked through the narrow streets again. But the colors of the spices stayed in his mind. He saw them again as he passed a gray wall, as if the colors had followed him. He saw them in the clothes of people walking by. In a way, everything looked brighter after that stall. That day, he didn't take photos. He didn't make videos. He didn't write anything down. But the image stayed with him, the red, the yellow, the green, the gold. All from the heart of a market in Brussels, where he just stopped and looked. Sometimes, we travel not to collect things, but to remember how to pay attention. That's what Elias learned that morning. And maybe that's what learning a language is too, not just remembering the words, but learning to see, to feel, to notice. In this story, you learned expressions like no rush, let his eyes wander, the surface moved like waves, and not to collect things, but to remember how to pay attention. You also practiced vocabulary related to color, senses, and travel, useful for describing memories and experiences in everyday conversation. If this story helped you feel something, and learn, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Reeling, and leave a comment with your favorite word from the story. See you in the next video.